Okay, let's see. All right, it's showing I'm live again this time. Please be patient as we are experiencing technical difficulties. Just hold on the line and someone will be with you shortly. What the? Ah, yeah. Oh, what fun it is to. Okay, let's see if I can't get this all set up again. So, there, it's showing I'm live again. It's showing I'm live again. I'm alive. It's alive. A couple people found me already. I see there. Just give me a second there, folks. You're just gonna have to get these. What's going on? Hey, Derek and Kaz. Hey, brother. Sunwood. Oh, do not agree. Awesome. Just one sec. I'll get you in on the on some action here because I've been hoping somebody would, right? Because yeah, I love to have my premises challenging, like challenged. That's great. Looks live to me. Yeah, I'm live. Okay, just give me one sec because I got to share this new link again because obviously the old link didn't work. I kept trying, kept giving me the option to try, retry, but yeah, didn't work. No worky. Had to restart. Okay, just one sec there. Don't go away. Don't go away, Sunwares, because yeah, like I say, I want to hear what you got to say. Definitely for sure. And I want everyone else to. That's the thing. When you're secure in your position, I'm not scared of someone else offering a different perspective than me because I'm not. Oh no. Like I say, and if you're in the pursuit of truth or knowledge or objective information, then yeah, if I'm wrong somehow or some way, damn, I hope somebody will correct me, right? I'm just so far the information I'm hearing from most people isn't doing that. It's just constant repeating CBC talking points. So if I hear something other than that, right on. Because I'm always, like I say, I'm always looking for knowledge. So let's share. Okay. Just one, like I said, just give me one sec here. I got to write the name of it. I probably should do new, right? So that people know. Well, that I had to start a new one. New stream. Or restart. Yeah. Restart. I'll use restart. Or no. Screw it. I'll just leave it the way it is. All right. How's that? Yeah, that'll do. Okay. Put her out there to the old Facebook page. Throw it out onto the Twitter sphere. Get the least amount of stuff from Twitter, though. Oh, there we go. Hey, if Derek's in the chat, yeah, thanks for sharing my other one there, Derek. Okay, so that one's good. All right. That's good enough for now. Good enough for now. Or actually, no, I better share it to Minds just in case, because there are a few people on Minds that might not realize that I'm back. So I'll share it there too. Sunwares. I remember Sunwares. Wires or Sun Wars. Sun Wars, or whatever. I remember that name. Okay, there we go. Hey, the picture of me in the screen capture isn't that bad. Usually it's a terrible picture where I'm like, okay, let me close up the YouTube side of things once again so I'm not killing off my own bandwidth here. Okay, so Sunwars, do not agree. So Sunwars, do you want to come on? Do you want me to send you a link? All you have to do is just give me an email on, and I know if you don't want to put your email public, just send it to my Canadian Libertarian Facebook page as a message, in a message on my Canadian Libertarian Facebook page or on my Twitter page. Either one doesn't matter to me, or even mine's. But just let me know which one you're sending it to so I know which one to check there down in the chat if you don't mind. Appreciate that. In the meantime, I will see what else everyone's doing. Look, oh, Micah W. Oh, thanks, by the way, for joining the stream, Micah. And if you don't mind, hit that like and subscribe to the channel if you wouldn't mind doing that as well. And join a Tim Hortons coffee. Yeah, still open, right? It's an essential service in Canada to get your Timmies. Hello again, Ian. Hey, Big Cat. Oh, Big Cat disagrees well. Awesome. I'm glad to see either one of you, Big Cat or Sunwares. Now, Sunwares, get in on the action a little bit first, or I'll bring you both on actually, because yeah, you can bring up to 6 people. Although 6 people, you'd never be able to get any word. It'd be like no. So 3, I think, would be plenty, right? Or even if we just do one-on-one and the other one kind of wait in the wings, whatever. To me, it doesn't matter either way. But like I say, I'll keep my Canadian Libertarian Facebook page open, and I'll reopen Twitter just so I can keep a track. But like I say, let me know either way so I can see which one you folks are, because the more stuff I have open, the crappier my internet quality is going to be. So if you let me know down the chat where you're sending your email, because that's what I need to send you the link to come join the stream, then I need to be able to send you the link through email or some source, or on your own social media page. If you don't even want to send your email, I can send you the link through. Actually, yeah, I don't even need your email. I can just send you, if you send a message to Canadian Libertarian on the Facebook page or on Twitter, I'll just send you the link there, because those are private messages and no one will see them anyway. So I can do it that way, either or. So Big Cat and Sunwars, keep that in the old back of the mind. They want to, that's not seemingly going off here again. Am I losing quality again? Because it's acting up a little bit on my end on this side here. Good thing for your Timmies is yeah, it's no, I don't want to. Sorry, that's why I don't start my own YouTube channel, at least not today. But then how are we going? Yeah, but that's the thing. If you disagree, you say you disagree, but what, like I can't text you. I mean, I don't know if you want to put your side of the thing in text form. Like, we are people. Like, this is the craziest thing. And I know, especially like the younger people that are used to talking with each other in text form. Come on. We were born with a mouth and ears, right? And we have the thing called the English language for a reason. Like, we should be talking with each other, as adults, like talking back and forth. So, I mean, if you want to try to put your argument in comment form, go ahead. But like I say, in comment form, it's so easy to get confused what a person's trying to say if they're not using the proper grammar or punctuation, or it just leaves out the nuance of an actual human conversation. But I mean, I'll try my best if you want to put something down there in the bottom, and I'll try to respond to it. Like, just give me something to reply to, I guess. Liberty is being stepped on. Oh, it's being stomped on. Yeah. And it's like, no, where's the GADSAT or whatever, or the flag? Don't tread on me. Now everyone's like, please tread on me. Like, what the hell? Can't you at least acknowledge that there's some treading going on here? Right? Kaz is really realizing it. By the way, Kaz, hit the like and subscribe button. Please, please, please. I could really use the help, especially now. Does anyone know personally someone who is not? Babe, did you say there was someone at your work or anyone that you know that has the COVID? Because I still don't know anyone personally, but is there some that you say someone that you know anyone personally? Oh, where you used to work. Oh, okay. Well, no, none of us so far. We don't know. Like, it doesn't mean much though. Like I say, because I'm already basically in self-isolation for the most part, right? So, not like I'm ooting about a whole lot these days. So, but I do obviously communicate online with tons and tons of people, lots of people online, and I've never heard anyone like that I know online say that they have the virus. So there's that, right? But once again, I don't know. Okay, so no debates. I know, right? Dang, I want to so bad. Got to sharpen the old skills a little bit. That's all, and try to pursue truth. That's all I'm looking for. Sharpen the skills and pursue knowledge and truth. That's my goal, right? There's no hidden or underlying premises other than, or motives, I should say. Then I want the truth. I'm in the pursuit of truth and knowledge, and however anyone out there can help me get to that point or attain it, like I say, whether you agree or disagree, it's one way or the other, it'll help in one way. I believe it's far more important to live as normal as possible and stay safe along the way in order to come out of this with any level. Yeah, I agree, Big Cat. I agree, of course. And like anyone would ever suggest that, like, I don't want anyone that's vulnerable. Like, I don't know how else to say this. Anyone that's vulnerable or fearful for themselves or anyone they love, protect those people. Don't rely on everyone the fuck else to do it for you. Like, that's the flip side of the problem with collective punishment is you're relying on government telling everyone to do it and that they will just do it. Like, come the hell on. Are you really everybody's just going to follow? Not everyone's going to follow the government orders, because if everyone just followed government orders or edicts or even laws, genuine laws that are morally consistent and universal, does murder still happen? Yeah. And there's a law against murder, right? Right. So come on. Theft, that still happens. Yep. There's laws against theft, right? So you can't prevent life from happening. But yes, instead of collectivizing and preemptively punishing or locking everyone down, protect the ones that need protecting. Be personally responsible, or the people that need to be protected. Tell them you better be responsible. And now if they're like someone that don't even have any, if they're in a coma, right? Or if they're have dementia and they just can't, then you or their provider, somebody needs to help protect those people. But you don't have to, destroy or squash the freedoms of everyone else on the outside, but protect them for sure. That's 100%. But I mean, come on. That's all I'm saying is you don't have to lock down all of society or destroy the economy to protect the weaker or the vulnerable, right? Come on. That's just, like I say, collective punishment. What a fail. But anyways, Big Cat, do you want to come on? Let me check here on Twitter. Did you send a message? I'm still not seeing a message on either of my social media pages here. Let me just scroll down a little bit. Maybe Big Cat replied here. Still coming through good here. Good to hear it. Micah W. Hey, Scott Hunt. Haven't seen Scott in a while. Micah W. No, I don't. Or do I? Or have I seen Scott in a while? That's what I like. See, that's a farmer. Nice farmer. And that's an essential service, right? That's definitely an essential. We all got to eat. I don't care who the hell you are, right? You got to eat. Even anorexic people got to eat sometime, right? Micah W. No, I don't. Heck, my province is shut down because 1 dead and 2 sick. So crazy, Scott. So crazy. And Canadians are so susceptible to accepting it. Why? Because, like I say, so many of them were raised in that collective mindset and collective punishment. Like I say, when they were in school, they're so used to it. To them, it's as normal as breathing. Of course, that's why they get all outraged and upset when you push back. It's like, wait a minute. That's what you're supposed to do. We were taught that all. Well, you might have been. And yeah, they tried to teach me that. But like I said, I was fortunate enough to have enough people around me and had this inquisitive mind where I was like, maybe I should get someone else's perspective or opinion. And thank goodness for that, right? Otherwise, I'd be in the same position as these other people are who just get one opinion or one perspective only, and they just go with that and never think that they should even question that. It's like, really though? Really? You don't not even question it, not even in the slightest, right? I have neighbors who need to be checked on and need help. Right on. Well, then for sure. But I mean, like I say, if your neighbors who need to be checked on and need help, those are the ones that you would want to isolate, right? You don't want them going out in public and putting themselves or placing themselves in danger, because the danger is out in public. That's where the danger is. Now, the people that want to put themselves in danger, which, I mean, it's not that much of a danger. I know some people are saying, oh, it's 10 times worse than the flu, but it's still, if you still compare it to all the potential threats out there, it's still not like life threatening for a substantial, the majority of us, right? So come on. Let the people that want to make those determinations or measure those risks, right? Let them do it for themselves. And the ones like you're suggesting that need protecting, yes, help them. Isolate them. Doesn't mean you have to, like this morning, I was just kind of give myself a little a visual perception how to do it. It's like, imagine if you had a whole bunch of houses of people, right? And there's vulnerable people, and it doesn't even have to be on the same street. Let's just say it's in a subdivision where there's like 5 streets running north and south and 5 streets running east and west, right? So you got like a grid, right? The vulnerable people, those are the ones you keep inside. So all I'm doing is taking society and shrinking it down to a community, because it's the exact same. It's just numbers, right? So if you have 1,000 people in a community or 37 million people in Canada, it's the same, right? It's the same no matter if you shrink it down to the community or expand that out to the rest of society, because each community is what represents society, right? So let's think about it. Let's just take the community, right? Let's focus on the community and say like I say, if there was 5 streets run north-south, 5 streets run east-west, and there's these 1,000 homes on them streets, and there's, out of the 1,000 people, there's, let's say, a tenth of them. Let's even say there's a tenth of them, right? Those 100 people that are vulnerable, which, I mean, that's 10%. It's not even at 10%, but let's just say 10% are vulnerable to either, getting gravely ill, suffering severely, or dying from this thing. It's that 100 people that need to stay the fuck in their homes and isolate. And if people are going from the homes, the people who are coming and going from those homes, let's say to deliver food, well, you make sure you're responsible enough that you're not going in and placing that person in danger. So if you're delivering groceries, right, maybe do it in a manner so that their food was covered in a way that you didn't, whatever, infect or whatever, and leave it out on the doorstep or something. Whatever you got to do. But those are the people that you're going to have to protect. But by preventing everyone from going outside, first of all, if that person needed food and nobody's allowed to go outside, well, they're going to starve to death, and so are you, because you're not allowed to go outside. And if you're not allowed to go to work, how are you going to provide anything for anybody, right? You can't. So, and we know anyways that there are essential services that have to go out there. So there's already, if there's only even 10 people out there out of the 1,000, well, they're supposedly going to still put everyone at risk, but yet you've already admitted, the central planners, the thought leaders have already admitted, but we need those 10 people out there. Well, those 10 people can still spread that virus if people are fucking interacting with each other. So stop it. Like I say, nothing what they say makes any sense if you just sit down and think, well, it does if you want to take control, use fear, and it means to control people and get them in the mindset of accepting that kind of control. Yeah, the way it's being unfolded, that's about the only thing that I see is being done, is getting people in the mindset of accepting government control, right? I'd love to come on, but I'm not in a place to boot up a call. Oh, that's a bummer, Big Cat. Well, like I say, even if you just want to put it in a comment, whatever you disagree with what I'm saying or my perspective or my stance, just let me know. Like I say, if you want to do it, even just in the chat. Occasionally short pause, not bad though. Oh, occasional short pause. Thanks, Thunderstick. You too as well, if you haven't already. If you wouldn't mind, hit that thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Okay, moving on here. Sunwars may disagree with the lockdown, but not you. Oh, disagree with the lockdown. Oh, that's true too. Right. That could very well be it. Yes. Thanks for pointing that out. Red Dawn. I see someone post something about Red Dawn. that was a good movie, right? That was freaking wild. I personally don't know anyone. I don't know anyone with old or young. They're living in Red Dawn. That's funny. That's yeah. Oh, I remember that movie. That was good. Head for the hills, boys. Yeah. Common sense. Yeah. Hey, what's going on, Miss Donna Kaz? Nice to see you in the chat. Like I say as well, if you're new, please subscribe to the channel and hit that thumbs up button. But yeah, common sense, like I was saying the other day, it's not very common anymore, right? Might have to remove the common part from the dictionary because it doesn't seem to be applicable anymore. I kid, of course, because it's applicable for people like us, just not so common as it once was. Will government let up the draconian power after this ends? I think not. Well, that's the other thing, right? Is don't get too comfortable because, like I say, it's conditioning for in some way. What's this? Sheep? Nice. Good one, Miss Donna Katz. How the hell do you do that with the sheep like that? That's pretty cool. Okay. How can we help each other if we can't legally? Yeah, exactly, right? Exactly. Oh, man. Treat adults like adults, right? And protect the vulnerable. Like I say, even in these freaking seniors' homes. I mean, some of them are getting like that's where you need to protect people. Protect the people that are truly vulnerable. And once again, it's being proven that they can't even do that. So please don't place your faith in these experts that think they're going to, by shutting down or locking down everybody, that's going to protect everyone, because you'll find out that it's not. No matter what they do, they are not going to protect everybody. People are still going to have the infection, get the infection, blah, blah, blah. And you're not going to prevent that entirely. And yes, you can't make you can't make the excuse that if we just lock, because they're not even making the excuse of locking everyone down. I mean, at least if they were trying to make, like I said in my past stream, even if they were trying to like be consistent and say that, no, this is how you, now if they were saying, if we like isolate every individual, mandate and have police on every corner, making sure nobody's allowed outside their home and everyone is isolated. If there was enough resources or the ability to do that, then you might be able to make even the utilitarian argument that, well, see, we can do it. Although I would still be able to point out, yeah, okay, you prevented people from getting the coronavirus by locking everyone in their house and hold them there at gunpoint. I would say, okay, if you could effectively do that, I'd say, okay, yeah, you probably are right. You might have a really good chance of doing so. But I'd also be able to point out, yeah, but you're not living anything remotely resembling a free society no more. And if everybody's locked at home, there's no one's producing food, no one's growing food, we're all going to fucking starve to death, right? So come on, like no matter what argument they make, just like I say, think critically on the fly, be objective in your logic, like use your reason, use that common sense that a lot of people lack. And like I say, no matter what they offer, and that's why I say what I got to say now. Even if you haven't thought of it before, I'm helping you so that you can make these arguments, right? And push back. And you really have to, because if you're not making these arguments or these counterpoints that I'm offering, then the media hacks will win out at the end of the day. And then the media hacks and the political class will win out at the end of the day. And that's what I'm fearful of, is if they gain any legitimacy in their claims, then people will believe that they are, once again, they're the true authority and they knew what was right. And which, like I say, I'm proving that they don't. I'm proving they don't with consistent messaging. And like I say, everything I'm saying, I'm not hearing anyone saying where there's any fallibility in what I'm saying. So, and I'm listening for people to point out, like even the people that argued with me on my social media page. I've yet to hear anyone actually point out, okay, there's the problem. There's where you're lacking the logic in your thinking. If someone could point that out to me, I'd be like, okay, let me correct that. Sorry, I apologize. Because like I say, I'm not so full of myself that I won't correct myself if I'm given the wrong information or come to the wrong conclusion. Of course, every person that's even remotely intelligent has had to correct their past thinking before when they were wrong. That's the only way. Same with, and because I'm competitive, the only way I can get better is if I learn from my mistakes. It's literally the only recipe that actually properly works is to correct your thinking if you're wrong, which is why, like I say, if someone can show me where I'm wrong or where I'm failing, where I'm not being logically consistent, then I'll take that and I'll thank you for it. I'll appreciate you for doing that for me. I really will. No shit. How could, yeah. Whew. Take a breath, Bennett. Take a breath. Yeah, have balls and brains and heart. Yeah, and they got to be measured, right? Not too much balls, not too much brains, and not too much heart. Because that's the thing, even with the brain, like it is a balanced, like it's that, like yin and yang, right? And find that balance, right? It truly is, because if you're all brains and no heart, then you can make a logical excuse, just pure logic alone, without no care and compassion or morality brought into the equation. I mean, you can make the excuse for a lot of things, right? Just pure logic alone, right? I mean, the perfect example that I would suggest is, you know, I've used this before too, is if you use just pure logic. Now, this is an example that it at least allows people to think critically about it, right? So logic alone, if humans only function on just 100% logic in everything and never had like the heart brought in the equation or emotion or compassion or any of that, then you could say, mathematically, if there was a train, you know, the train track, the trolley dilemma, or the train run down the track, let's say, you know, and it splits, there's a split in the train tracks, and there's one person laying on this train track, and yet on this train track, there's two people. Well, logically would suggest, if you're consistent just in like mathematics and you want to save the most people, right, would be, well, if there's two people on this track and one person on this track, then logically, based on just brain power alone, without bringing empathy or anything, just the mathematics of it, would say, well, yeah, you let the one person die. Not that you want the one person to die, because you're not the one that set the train down the track. You're just the person that's like, now, ideally, if now, like, let me get the other side of this, because like I say, this is one of those dilemmas that really makes you have to think critically. You would say, okay, let's sacrifice the one person and save the two people, because at least that way you're saving two people, not one. But let me enter a new aspect into this equation? What if that one person is one of your close family members that you love tremendously, just great person overall, and you, like I say, you have a tremendous amount of love and passion for that person. Let's say it's your child. Like, I know it's a terrible scenario to set up, and the other two people are not just strangers, but one's, let's say, a rapist, and the other one's a career criminal. The calculation changes then, right? Then that's where you got to start bringing in like common sense, empathy, compassion, your own personal preferences, and the fact that that person that you. So, like I say, there is never a thing like when you're talking about people dealing with each other where it's always just a black or white. That's why these kinds of conversations have to be had, right? You can't try to create these scenarios where it's just the answer is always going to be the same all the time forever, other than morality, right? Should you not hit? Yes. That's something you should never do, right? Unless you're defending yourself or defending someone else. I mean, stealing, you should never steal, right? Never, right? Killing people, you should not murder. Well, unless you're defend yourself. But even that, see, even those, there's always times when there's an exception, but it's always, if you keep morality and ethics at the center core, just in combination and conjunction with just the knowledge, right? So like I say, I'm bringing all of it to the equation, and the courage, of course. Well, courage, you're going to require courage, regardless of whether you're using your brains or your heart. But I agree with you, Miss Donna Katz. Is yes, that's why these things have to be. That's why 30-second sound bites or the way the media presents stuff on TV, you're not getting properly informed. Like, are they doing what I'm doing? Of course they're not. They're not, because they're not trying to pique your interest into thinking critically. They're just trying to tell you what to think. If they wanted you to think critically about the issues, they do, or say what I'm saying, and get you to really, really dig down and use that brain power that you got to think about them. But they never do. Hey, what's going on, underdog? Like I say, they just want to control everyone. They think they've always got the right answers all the time, and no one should ever question their expertise. Don't Twitter or free. Okay, yeah, right on. Hey, I understand that. But I'm not able to place a call. Place a call? Yeah. Well, no, there's no way to do the phone call thing on here. And yeah, I'm not giving it my personal cell number to everybody. Yeah, sorry. It's all good. Like I say, if you want to put something down there in the chat that I can respond to, like I say, just point out where you think I'm wrong in some way or anything like that. Like, I'll try. Victory Gardens this year. Yes, sir. Sunwares. Instead of looking at a country like Taiwan for ideas or how to stop this, our leaders listen to. Well, like I say, either one way or the other. But yeah, it seems like there are, like, the thing. There's things that could be that you can learn from other places. Like I say, I'm not 100% sure on the Taiwan thing, but there are some countries around the world that are doing it without locking people down. And maybe that is one of those countries that's doing it in a better manner, right? Like I say, yeah. As long as, like, to me, at the end of the day, as long as you're not using force or threats of violence, towards people who aren't doing anything immoral themselves, or what would be deemed illegal in the proper sense, right? Where they're causing harm to people, then yeah, let's just treat each other with adults, and we'll figure this stuff out. And even as we're figuring out, people are going to still die along the way. You're never going to get to the point where you can perfect everything, where there's no such thing as threats, which is why personal responsibility is so vitally important. That's what got us to where we are today, right? Human beings would have never made it out of the swamps or from the being knuckle draggers, right? We would have never made it to this point if we didn't have the ability to think about these things and practice some personal responsibility. Oh, okay. Very, very, very sad. Yeah. Okay. All right. Scrolling back up here. Oh, I'm seeing. Okay. There we go. People are going to have to come out sooner or later, take risk. We can't stay in lockdown forever. How will you know what's really going on? Exactly. You can't. That's the thing. You can't. And even now, like I say, because there's essential services, that's basically, they're admitting They're already placing people in vulnerable positions. They're already doing it. So really what they're saying is they're just going to pick and choose who they want to control and not, because they're already admitting, if there's such thing as essential services, that there are some people that, yeah, we care about everybody. Oh, we want to save everybody. But yet, we're more than willing to, well, because you're essential. Well, hey, if you die, too bad, so sad. But because you're essential, well, we'll willingly sacrifice you, right? How good of them to do that? I would say it's up to the person, each individual, if they want to be sacrificial or do that, make that sacrifice themselves. Leave it up to the individuals. Don't place that responsibility in the hands of someone else. You have to be personally responsible for yourself. You're the one that's going to be the ultimate decider and determiner if you want to be placed in that situation. That's, like I say, I want to treat you as an adult. Yeah, exactly right. Essential services. And I mean, the fact that they're saying Tim Hortons is essential service just goes to show you, really though? Is it? Is it really? Wolverine. So unfortunate. Yeah. The elephant in the room is that we here all know that the government and MS lie. Like, yeah, yep. Yeah, and I've got all that, like I say, I've got over 1,000 videos. Now, a lot of my early videos weren't necessarily dealing with news media and articles and using philosophy and the pursuit of knowledge and truth to push back against the rhetoric. A lot of it was even just talking about philosophical aspects and history and stuff. But yeah, I've got, like I say, 1,000+ videos of history pointing out at every junction in every one of those videos, with the links contained right within them, to show just how many times the media and those in government has woefully and inadequately informed the people, to the point where someone like myself have to keep pointing out all the time where they're wrong, where they're making errors in their judgment, where there's logical fallacies, contradictions in their statements, abstract impossibilities. Like, yeah, I've had to do that for something. I mean, I didn't have to. I chose to do that. Why? Because, like I say, knowledge is not something that I just want to hoard for myself. If I just wanted to fill my own mind up with the knowledge, I'd just hoard it for myself and pretend that I'm just so much better than everyone. No, I do this because I need everyone else. I want everyone else to be wise enough to think about these things critically, because I recognize that for us to be free, if we're going to have anything remotely resembling a free society, well, we need at least a substantial portion of the population that's thinking critically at these times, right? And if we do, if we have enough people, even if the majority don't, the majorities, they represent the sheeple, and the sheeple will follow whoever they deem as competent or their leaders. And right now, most of the sheeple are deeming these so-called experts or media pundits, because they're constantly told all the time that they are. But like I say, that's being chiseled away and hammered away at constantly, where their credibility, I mean, look at, I mean, how many people actually trust the establishment media and those in government these days? You know how low those numbers are. Even the people that are political acolyte, or people that love politics and like taking polls, even the majority of them are saying, no, I don't trust them anymore. So, I mean, come on. And I mean, the fact that the media, right, has to be bailed out continuously by the government tells you that most people don't even trust the media. Because if you deem the media as an essential service yourself, you'd be more than willing to pay up, because you would require that, oh, if it wasn't for the media informing me, I'd be completely ignorant. But what it is most people recognize the state. No, matter of fact, CBC could close down tomorrow, right? And I'd still be able to get lots of knowledge and information and news reported on without having to rely on the CBC. So people even recognize, even some that are, they're fans of some of these establishment services or things like this CBC, they recognize, no, they've failed them at so many times. Like, what? And good for you. Don't trust them. You know, I'll even say myself, a broken clock can be right twice a day. And there are times, it's not like everything that they do or say on the CBC is always wrong. No. And even a lot of times when they're reporting on an incident, okay, good for you. It's when they bring those opinions, right? Especially if it's, you know, in the politics section. I mean, you know, if it's being reported under the politics section, then you know that opinion is political in nature, which is why they place that in the politics section in the first place. So the minute you recognize that any news that you're receiving on CBC is in the politics section in any way, well, yeah, they're bringing politics into it, right? So that's not the pursuit. Obviously, politics is not the pursuit of knowledge or truth, right? Interesting, honest statistics would be great start. Yeah, right. I mean, the fact that the governments keep lying, misrepresenting, Learning knowledge is power. That's what. Anyways, let me scroll down. Actually, no, let me see. Listen to this. Did you hear this? And Doug Ford. I mean, I was all for Ford getting in to get rid of Kathleen Wynne in Ontario because fuck the Wynne Liberals were just terrible and taking Ontario down a terrible. And now I will say it there for a while. Like I would say, Doug Ford was definitely the lesser of the evils in comparison. But yeah, once again, power, folks. Power is corrupting. I don't care who the hell it is. I don't care who it is. I mean, there are some very, very rare exceptions, like his brother Rob, that seemed to, no matter what, right? He didn't seem to care much to gain a whole lot for power, right? Which, but I mean, most people, like I said, you can't rely on the fact that Doug Ford was Rob's brother, that they're going to be the exact same. That's obviously, anyways. And this is an article of the Star, and once again, not like I usually agree with much from the Star or contributors to the Star, but disobeying the COVID-19. Oh, here, let me share the screen. Let me share the screen here for everyone. There we go. Let me see. Actually, let me check my Twitter and see if anyone sent a message yet. I'll check Facebook. Nope, no messages. Okay. So as you can see, disobeying the COVID-19 emergency law could cost you $100,000 and 1 year in jail. Holy crap. By Robert Benzie, Queen's Park Bureau Chief, right? This was reported on, what was it, just yesterday, March 31st, yeah. But yeah, stay home or pay up. Scofflaws who ignore the Ontario government's order to stay out of recreational facilities such as playgrounds, basketball courts, and dog parks. I mean, think about it. All they're doing is going out to like playgrounds, basketball courts, and dog parks. And yet you risk the fine for doing so of up to $100,000 or 1 year in jail. Like, how fucking authoritarian is that? That's according to the strict legislation used by Premier Doug Ford in the bid to stop the spread of COVID-19. Wow. Meanwhile, not going to work, is it, Dougie? Hey, Dougie. Not going to work. Because, why don't you get some fucking people up there and protect those people in the seniors home instead of trying to put fucking people in jail for going to the fucking dog park, you fucking dipshit. Fucking goddamn. Anyways, under the Emergency Management and Civil Protection Act invoked during the pandemic, the penalties for disobeying an emergency order can be severe. Yeah, no shit. In the case of an individual, so $100,000 and a term of imprisonment of not more than a year, which put people in prison, right? I mean, just think about that alone, right? Isolate. I mean, yeah. Oh, I'm glad I just saw this, folks. Listen to this. So if you go out to the dog park, I don't know, there might be a few people. And in a dog park, I don't think everyone's just shoulder to fucking shoulder usually, right? But I mean, so you might actually have some social distance in that 2-meter social distance, right? But if you don't obey Dougie's orders, well, he's going to send you to jail. Now, before you do, you do have to go to the courts, which means you're going to go to another place, a public place, where everybody's like, you ever sit in a courtroom? And everyone's kind of shoulder to shoulder on those stupid little benches. Like, so if you go to the dog park, right? Because Dougie said, no dog park for you, right? And if you do, well, you have the potential. We're going to send you through the courts so that you're going to be even more susceptible or placed in a more severe situation in terms of potentially contacting the coronavirus or putting other people at risk, right? And then what? If you're found guilty and you get that 1 year in jail, or even if it's 3 months, well, they'll throw you into another place where you're all lined up like fucking sardines or in very closed, confined spaces where you can spread the disease even more. So even that, I mean, think about that right there, right? Use, like I say, now I just thought of this on the fly, but I mean, because that's, like I say, that's what it is to think critically about these issues. You can do, but that's what I would say to Dougie. Now, what would Dougie be able to offer back from that? Oh, let me go to Timmy's, get a coffee and a donut or something. I don't know. Fucking, he wouldn't be able. But once again, is anyone in the media going to put the fucking mic in front of Dougie and say what I said and say, hey, what do you think about that, Dougie? Right? Nah, you're not going to get that. You're only going to get that here. Which is why it's a good idea to get perspectives from people like myself. It's not just me. But yeah, you're not getting what, like I say, point out if you see anyone in the established media that's willing to challenge that crap like I do, right? You're not going to see it. Other than a couple contributors to the National Financial Post that are pretty much self-identified libertarians themselves, you might get some pushback from a couple of those folks, but not much. Well, especially like CBC. But like I say, this is where I said, I even said on my Facebook page yesterday, listen, especially for some of the lefties in, that have what they perceive as the only reason why they're even pushed back against it, because the Star's against Doug Ford because he's conservative, right? So this is a time where we libertarians should come together with these lefties because we agree with each other here. So let's put our petty differences aside with the people that we would always be detesting and hating and insulting, right? Because they're lefties, right? And say, you know what? I agree. I would say, because this person goes on to say that that's bad, right? It's not good to do that. So I would suggest to Robert or anyone that's taken that position or that stance that, yeah, this is a massive overreaction, authoritarian in nature. I'd be like, yeah, I'm right with you there, Robert. Yeah, we can disagree with lots of things and we can save that for another day. But today, I agree with you. I'm in solidarity with you, Robert. I don't believe in it. And like, once again, I don't care if it's a right-wing government or a left-wing government that's doing it. I don't give a flying rat's ass how people want to self-separate themselves into their left versus right bullshit. To me, it's authoritarianism versus libertarianism. I don't give a shit which side of the political. Are you in the pursuit of liberty or the truth, knowledge? Then we're cool. If you're in it for the pursuit of power, right, or control, then there's our divide. There's the divide right there. It's not left versus right. It's what are you in it? Power or knowledge, right? But yeah, I would say, yeah, push back against this crap and join. And yeah, some of those lefties, they'd be really appreciative, especially, like I say, if you're not someone that identify, especially if you're a libertarian. Yes, take advantage of this time to align. I don't care if they're a right winger or a left winger. If they're agreeing with you today, it means they're taking the stance that liberty is more important than pivoting towards government authoritarianism. Now, of course, they have underlying motives. Of course, Robert probably has an underlying motive that he's just not a fan of right-winger Doug Ford. But take advantage of the fact that you're both agreeing today and say, hey, see, this is one of those times. That's what I would be doing. Like I say, I don't care what side of the political spectrum or which side of the political aisle you come from. If you're standing for liberty, I got your back. I got your back, right? I got your back, because that's what I care about at the end of the day. It's the ideas. It's liberty that I care about at the end of the day. Not what color your skin is, not your political background or your leaning, not what religion you tend to gravitate to. None of that. Will you respect my sovereignty and my liberty? Because I will for you. That's really what it comes down to in the day. So let me turn this off here. But anyways, but yeah, so a little bit of a rant there, folks. But like I say, and anyone else, like I said, I'm hopefully get to the point where I can do this. But by the time I get the time to do it, I don't know. But if anyone's got time and you got a rendering software program at home and you're pretty good at it, I give you complete permission to take any of my streams, cut up a section in there and use it. Even on your own YouTube channel, I don't really care. Or share it back to me and I'll share it on my channel. But if you want to take any segment of my YouTube, download it, of this stream, download it, use it, because you don't want to share like a big, let's say it's 2 hours, because people might not want to watch. But if there's like a 10-minute segment like that little rant that I just went on there, push back against Dougie, if you just want to cut that out so you can share it and people will be more susceptible to watching that short amount, go right ahead. Go right ahead. I will ask though, don't try to monetize my shit considering it's, right? Don't try to profit when I can't even profit off it from me. But I would say, yeah, do that. And I give you complete permission. I'm saying it right here now. I give anyone permission to use my video if you just want to help spread truth and knowledge. That's because I don't care. I don't really care. I'm not in this just for my own selfish reasons. I'm doing it for, well, there is some selfishness to it, because of course I care about my own freedoms, but I care about my wife's freedoms. I care about my kids' freedoms. I care about my neighbors' freedoms. I care about my, the rest of my extended family, my friends. I care about freedom. That's what I care about. And for me to have my freedoms, I need everyone else to have theirs as well. So, right? Anyways, back to what we were doing. So what else? Right around it there. Oh, yeah, let me go to. Yeah, I was going to bring up this whole argument I had with this, but because he never did respond, there's no point in me wasting a whole lot of time. I guess that was a waste anyway. So, like I say, if if he had been willing, I offered this gentleman to come onto my channel today. His name was Ken. Where is that? Ken Zeese. I offered Ken to come on, but as per usual, lots to say when you can't have your premise challenged in real time. But as soon as I give them the opportunity to do so, all of a sudden they go pretty quiet. So anyways, like I say, I'm just going to scroll through because, like I say, there's quite a bit of stuff to deal with. What else was there? Oh, did I cover? Yeah, no, I already covered the amazing Polly thing there yesterday, right? Yeah, I did. That was on my yesterday stream. That's pretty wild. All right. Yeah, this is one out of Financial Post. Let me show you this because this would be a worthwhile one. And like I say, you can find all these articles. Just go to my. I don't place them all on my Canadian Libertarian page, which is why I have that extra page I use, Next Gen News and Views, on Facebook. Next Gen News and Views, it's called. And all of it, or, well, no, it might be on my Twitter as well. But like I say, Next Gen, I keep that as my page for record, right? To keep all this stuff as a record. So all articles are always on my Next Gen page. And this one here, let me share it with y'all. Let me share it with y'all. Share stream. Because it's basically going along the same lines as kind of what I was alluding to a little earlier. There you go. Yeah. Coronavirus fallout. Policies forged in crisis tend to stick around longer than anticipated. When I read that headline, I was like, yeah. Actually, let me bring this up. A lot of people aren't aware of this, although most of you folks are. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I forgot to type. Okay, sorry. There. Yeah, there we go. We'll bring up the PDF version. Yep. Like I say, folks, this is completely legit. Temporary in nature, huh? Yeah. Careful of that stuff. And this is totally downloadable, by the way. I'll share this link. Actually, let me put this link right now. That's the problem with freaking links, though, on these things. It doesn't really show up as a link, does it? Makes you almost have to type it in, doesn't it? How would I be able to do this then? Let me open up YouTube and see if it'll come up as an actual link on the YouTube side instead of in the YouTube chat part. Hopefully I'm not going to be bunging up all my internet connection here. But yeah. Anyway, while I'm waiting, I seen my screen was blacked out there for a sec. It was touted, World War I, it was touted that, we have to introduce a temporary income tax in Canada, right? Just to pay for the war. No big deal. It was only a few percent. What was it? 3% or something. It's only a few percent. Don't worry. We just got to pay for the war, right? Because prior to 1917 in Canada, by the way, right? Just 100 years, just a century ago, right? There was no such thing as an income tax in Canada. Not until World War I, or actually at the end of World War I, basically, in 1917, or towards the end of the World War I, in 1917 is when the temporary War Measured Act, the Income Tax Act, actually came. It was only going to be temporary to pay for the war. 103 years later, not so temporary, is it? And instead of a few percent of your income. It's now up to half of your income. So that death by 1,000 cuts, that boiling frog approach, yeah, people, once you've accepted big government into your life, it's going to forever want to encroach and grow. It's like a fucking parasite. Like I say, just like my last stream, government is a much more dangerous virus or threat or a parasite to us than anything that could be constructed in the actual biological world. Because hundreds of millions of people in this 20th century alone died from statism, right? Or their belief in such. Anyway, so there you see. Yeah, it actually came up as an actual link. So I guess that's what I got to do. I got to share a link in an actual the YouTube side thing. So you see that. So anyway, so back to the article. So yeah, policies forged in crisis tend to stick around. Kevin Carmichael, everyone agrees the economic shock from COVID-19 will be temporary. The virus's effect on the economy won't be, right? Economic policy generally takes years to develop, but crisis can speed up the process. That can be both good and bad. For instance, Canada's first attempt at unemployment insurance appeared in 1935 as part of R.B. Bennett's response to the Great Depression. Benefits grew progressively generous, but in 1971, politicians get carried away. An overhaul of the program made it so that a person who worked 8 weeks in some regions could qualify for 42 weeks of jobless payments. Outlays vastly exceed forecast costs, scholar Thomas Kirshine and John Allen said in a 2009 article by Policy Office. Anyways, this is kind of boring fucking stuff. Anyways, there's the article, like I say, out of the Financial Post talking about that. I should have shared that too. Crap. Let me share this with you too. So I'm going to have to open that YouTube thing up again. But if you want to read that, like I say, if you're not subscribed to it, you're only going to get a limit of so many that you can read before they'll limit you, because you do have to pay to play on the Financial and National Post, which is good. It's a proper business model, because of course we should all have to pay. These people get paid. I mean, it's crazy. People like, there's no such thing as free, right? It's free my ass. Somebody getting paid. But yeah, so there's the article. But like I say, let me bring up the Temporary War Measures Act, just so you know. Just so you know. So close that, stop. Bring up the Temporary War Measures Act so you folks can see that. And like I say, because it's in PDF, you can put it on a jump drive. You can keep it on a link of it on your smartphone if you want. Just when people say, "Oh, you're full of shit. Taxes is the price you have to pay to live in society." Well, what they do before 1917, they didn't take your money out of your income, but yet there were still roads. Right? My roads, right? My roads. Gotta have taxation. Otherwise, there'd be no roads. Really? No. I don't think so, but so there, yeah, you can see it there now. And like I say, it's a PDF. The Income War Tax Act of 1917, a digest. R East or K Easton Burns CA. But yeah, and then you just got to scroll through. Like I say, it's PDF, the Income War Tax Act 1917. And it'll give you, like I say, it's every page. As you can see, it was scanned and uploaded. So you can read the entire document, and which I have done. And once you do, you realize, oh, man, we've been sold a bill of goods. Yeah, you have. You have. So stop falling for the central planners and your thought leaders, because, yeah, they've manipulated people's minds for far too long. It's about time that people get out of that, allowing them to do so. So let me close that back off here. Keep a little handy copy of that, right? Okay, let's get back to seeing what everyone's saying. Single families, but not homes with children. Stats wrong. They probably wouldn't have a leg to stand on. That's why they're pumping this sheep with fear. Worst decisions are made by the fearful. Protect me, daddy gov. Yeah, daddy or mommy, whichever, right, left or right. You want the strong man or the benevolent? Like, that's the way I look at how people perceive government. It's like, do you want your strong man daddy, or do you want your really overbearing, smothering mother? that will, because the smothering mother is the left, right? Like, we're going to protect you from yourself. Whereas the strongman daddy's like, fend for yourself, fuck you, right? Like, I don't know, or whatever. Or we'll just control you by the whip, right? The whip, right? So, like I say, and because people have been raised to think it's got to be one or the other, it's like, no, it really doesn't. There's this other thing, like peaceful parenting, leading by example, right? Universal and consistent ethics, right? Ooh, I know, what a novel idea. Jeez. Single families, but no homes with children. That's the other thing nowadays. I mean, government incentive alone. I mean, think about it. If you got 3, 4, 5 kids, you're already disincentivized never to go to work because you're going to take a wicked pay cut. And if you go to work, if you're a single mother, you're much better off economically to be on the government doles. That's just a reality, right? And I'm not saying some people don't need it, but it's like, really, nobody in your family, not the father of the kid, nobody's willing to help you at all. Just government, like you just get, or government's not doing anything either. Just forced wealth. That's the only way you'll be able to get by in life, is it? Through forced wealth and income redistribution. Wow. Seems like a lot of people have failed you in your fucking life, that you got to turn to big government and forced wealth and income redistribution to get by in life. And to teach your kids that kind of behavior, yeah, no wonder it becomes cyclical. Not just cyclical, but like it's like a snowball effect. And each family gets caught up in that shit. So hard to get. And like I say, because even some people that you consider dumb, actually they're making a measured approach and realize that, yeah, sure, I could go out and work and be personally responsible, but that means I'm taking a downgrade. I don't get free prescription eyeglasses. Oh, I won't get free dental. I won't get free prescription drugs, when government will give you all that, right? Of course, it's coming at the expense of whoever is having to pay for it, whether it's someone's alive today or the unborn that's going to be economically enslaved. But yeah, incentives, man. I'm wrong every time I get angry. Well, I know that's even myself. You gotta be careful with that, because anger does kind of obscure the vision in some way. That's why it's important to try to. But I know what you mean. I've been wrong. Like I said, I've taken the wrong stance, and then I've had to stick my tail between my legs and admit I was right. It's just part of being a fallible human being, which we all are. There's nobody. Trust me. There's nobody that's going to be able to say I've never been wrong. Right. And someone that comes to tell you that, well, they're the biggest fucking liar on the planet. In Canada, we did not have to fear an outside invasion. The tyranny will come. Yeah, it is. It is right now. And people are fucking accepting it, hook, line, and sinker. And a substantial portion of the population isn't just accepting it, they're cheering it on. Wow. Cancer patients diagnosed with corona die from corona. Well, I mean, cancer patients are already susceptible, right? Because your immune system is already in a very vulnerable position. So yeah, a cancer patient, those are the people that you definitely want to protect, right? Because their immune system is already compromised at that point in time, especially if they're going through chemotherapy. This is definitely keeping the people distracted while government scheme in the background. Yeah, that's the thing. Who knows what's happening behind the scenes, right? But everyone has smartphones. Get out there. We need some investigative journalists to get out there and on the ground, see what's going on, right? Or some of those hackers to use some of their skills for good, right? Like, look at Edward Snowden. Edward Snowden was a hacker, and he used those hacking skills to let us in on a hell of a lot of stuff that government was doing behind our backs. So those ethical hackers, yeah, we're looking at you. Help us out. Okay. Scientists are saying since shutdown, Earth's path has changed. Also, pollution worldwide is down. Of course, pollution's down because we aren't manufacturing useless goods or services. Less traffic. Like I said, there's going to be some positive aspects of this too, right? For sure. Like, it's not all bad. Like, not everything about this coronavirus outbreak is going to be detrimental. I think, like I say, a lot of people that are now having to learn and be educated at home. A lot of students are now, and the parents are having to learn how to. I see another one's like, well, we shouldn't as parents have to be responsible to teach our children. Well, really though? Really? You don't have to learn everything. There's called online courses, or people that have online resources, or intelligent people in your community that probably could teach them. What about those teachers, right? That's the thing. People are like, oh, because we're not all going to a public education institution people can't learn. Really? Well, if those teachers aren't in the schools, and if those teachers are competent and you believe that they are actually the ones that will teach your children, well, those people that are sitting home today, they've got an internet connection. Those teachers, they've got an internet connection, right? Well, they can teach not just your kid, but they can do their classes from the comfort and safety of their home, just like I'm doing right now. I could be reading. If I was a teacher, I could be doing my daily duties, but rather than in a classroom, I could be doing the exact same duties. And rather with 20 students or 30 students sitting in front of me, I could have millions of people watching, right? And they'd be able to get that kind of education for way like pennies on the dollars, right? Getting the exact same education, but they're doing it in real time, in the safety and the comfort of their home at a much, much reduced cost, and not having to have a gigantic bureaucracy of public sector employees, government workers, overpaid bureaucrats, administrators, all that redundant bullshit that we're forced to pay into that, like I say, is absolutely unneeded and necessary, because you could prove that right now and teach them right now, right here now. So no excuses. If your kids aren't being educated, you're fucking failing them tremendously, because we live in the age of information. If your kids aren't being informed in the age of information, you are failing them miserably. My kids wouldn't be. My kids are a little older now, right? But let's say I had 2 young kids right now that were in, like, let's say grade 3 and 5. School could end tomorrow and be like, oh no, they're not going to learn. Either I would teach them myself, or if I wasn't competent enough to do it myself, or there was areas or topics or subjects where it's like, okay, no, that's not my wheel. I was pretty sure it'd be easy to find a teacher, right? Because they do exist, right? Or someone that's knowledgeable in that field. I'm pretty sure you can find one. And if they want to profit for themselves, or even if they just want to do it benevolently, right? Even if they don't want to profit for themselves, they could provide it for free. But I'm pretty sure they might even want to profit from it by uploading it on a YouTube channel where you just got to pay your connection speed, or maybe watch an advertisement at the beginning or the end of the program. You'd still be able to get it, but like I say, much, 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 much cheaper, right? But yeah, and some of this stuff, like actually one thing, this might shut the environmentalists, those fuckers, up, because they're kind of getting their way a little bit here now, which, hey, listen, if we can reduce pollution or whatever, right? Good. I'm all happy for it. I think this is a terrible way to go about it, but if it is a direct consequence or result of this, and we can't prevent that from happening, well, it is what it is. Be happy, rejoice, right? Whatever. I don't know. Overpopulation. No, I don't necessarily think overpopulation is at fault, because I remember even the arguments were made that overpopulation was a big deal before there was even 1 billion people on the planet. We've got 6 times that now, right? And seem to be still doing fine, or 7 times now, probably 8 billion. Bro. Well, anyways, but yeah, overpopulation. I mean, come on. I don't know. I can never pretend to know how many people. Nor would I ever want to put myself in a mindset where I should be the one to dictate and determine how many people should be alive on this planet, right? I don't know. But I don't necessarily believe the overpopulation thing. A lot of people congregated into certain particular areas. Yeah, right. Some of the big urban centers. Like if you spread that population out a little bit more, actually, it wouldn't even look like it's that populated, to be honest with you. But it's because those big urban centers are so densely packed and populated. It does seem, especially if you're getting that perspective, seems like it's massively overpopulated. But if you're where I live in the sticks in New Brunswick, not so much, right? Underpopulated. Matter of fact, mostly just a bunch of old people and their parents, right? Or a few old people and their parents, I should say, not a bunch. Scientists are saying since shutdowns. Oh, okay. I already read that one. Had Corona on there. Anybody disagree that want to come on and have it's not like a debate where we're like, you take 5 minutes, I'm just talking basically, when I say debate, it's just like an informal debate. It's basically like a conversation where we take turns and counter each other's points and stuff. No big deal. But if anyone does want to do it, I'm more than willing to do so. Like I say, that's why I offered to do this stream today. I was hoping that someone would kind of take me up on the offer, but it's all good. Okay, back down even further here. Hey, Fighting Hate 101, even Joe, Gato. Okay, so yeah, I got to get down here a little more. So I see there's some new people in the chat. Y'all. We are allowing the authoritarian regime to rule. Fear is everyone locked in. COVID is nothing more than a mild flu. And well, like I say, Joe Goss, thanks for joining the stream. I appreciate that. If you don't mind, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. But when it comes to more than being a mild flu, like I say, I'm not a doctor, never played one on TV, and I sure as heck wouldn't suggest that I know, how severe it's going to be. But like I say, regardless of the severity, there are ways to protect the vulnerable without completely, destroying not just economies, but entire societies and giving government a tremendous amount of power over our lives. And anyone that thinks it's a good idea to give government this kind of power, like, you're going to find out just how foolish you were or how naive you were. And then once you've done that, like, how do you that's the thing. How are you going to try to unwind the government? You vote it out, right? When the hell has that ever happened? Oh my God. Life sentence for spitting coming soon. Yeah. All animals are equal, but some animals are more equal. Yeah. I managed 2 Tim Hortons for 13 years. Believe me, it's an essential. Yeah. Well, to some people, right? But that is obviously subjective. Because it really isn't, obviously, if you objectively think about it. Could we survive without a Tim Hortons? Yep. Right. But I get what you're saying there, Sunwares. I want this peacefully so I don't have to join the yeah, I want this. Me too. That's why, like I say, this kind of information, it's so vitally important, folks. Rika, MSN is so essential. Yeah, right. You could get rid of those dipshits tomorrow, and well, the only thing we would lose out on is indoctrination and programming. The LFS and Hamilton are discussing rallying in Saturday. What do you think? Hey, go for it. I'm just telling you, though, everyone's got to, that's the thing, personal responsibility. If you're choosing, and you know the way the government, and especially if it's in Hamilton, you heard Dougie, right? So I'm not saying that you shouldn't do that or that the LFS shouldn't do that, right? If they want to go out and assume that risk themselves and take on that personal responsibility and do that, then I say go for it, right? Just know that you're also placing yourself in a position where the media and Dougie's going to want to shine a spotlight. Well, I don't know about Dougie as bad, but because especially, yellow vesters are perceived as right wingers, right? Which is so ridiculous on this whole thing. But, there will be people that are going to want to target you, right? But so what? Showing courage and conviction in the face of this onslaught of bully tactics that the media and the political class, like I say, yeah, that would at least show you're courageous, right? At the very least. And that courage does embolden others. But once again, I would never suggest or pretend to tell anyone what to do. I don't know. I don't know what's right or what's best for anybody. I just know that I would support, the yellow vest doing what, if they want to get together, just don't, like I say, if you do that in a situation where you're placing others at risk, then you're giving them a narrative to use against you. But if you just decide that, you cordon off your own little place, you say, hey, listen, we've agreed that we're voluntarily willing to accept the risk, every one of us around here. And if you don't want to assume that risk yourself, then stay the fuck away from us, right? But we should voluntarily, as adults, if we want to choose to gather together, and we've all said to each other, hey, even if you have the COVID, I'm willing to assume that risk, that responsibility myself. If they've agreed to that, then they should be allowed to do so. Completely. I'm 100% on board with that. That is within your right. But once again, that's just my opinion. I'm not the one that you have to worry about, right? Because I would never try to use force against you for gathering together peacefully. So there are people that will, though. So always just keep that in mind, right? CBC should be funded like PBS in the US. If you like CBC, exactly. To tell you the truth, if it was done that way, you would know, and under the voluntary means, you would find out that they don't even require as much money. There's so much bloat in CBC that's squandered and pissed away. We don't even know how much you would have to spend. Like, it might only cost, for each Canadian, it might only cost like 50 cents a piece a month, right? So in 12 months, $6 a year, I'd be like, even me, even though I'm not a huge fan, at least there are some things on the CBC. Because like I say, not everything in the CBC is 100% all terrible all the time. Some is, some isn't, especially their opinions, especially that part of it, the opinion stuff, the political stuff. Yeah, you could get rid of all that. But I'd be even more than willing to spend a few bucks, like spread around to have, if I want to get information from multiple sources or perspectives. But yeah, it should be voluntary, because if it's voluntary, then we know. And if it's voluntary, the only way you can hold those people to account is by being able to voluntarily withdraw your support. Because if people were as disenfranchised with CBC and it was under the voluntary means, CBC would be flat broke. And if there wasn't a way for government to step in and prop them up, if they had to function under a market environment, well, they'd either have to correct what they're doing if they're seeing that more and more people don't want to pay attention to what they're saying because they recognize that they're just propagandizing and lying to them. Well, they would have no choice. If they seen, the numbers shrinking on a month-by-month basis where they're not having enough support to even sustain them, they might want to keep propagandizing you, but they're going to re-incentivize things because at the end of the day, they want to get their paycheck. They want to get paid. They're not going there to work for free. They want to get paid. And if they can't get a paycheck, or they're going to get laid off or fired because the organization can't sustain itself profitably, well, trust me, they would change. They would change. And not by force. They would do it voluntarily because they'd recognize it's the right thing to do. Right? Right on, Ian. Ian's always on the ball. Good stuff, Ian. My parents came back from Portugal just over 2 weeks ago. They were both over 70. They are fine. Right on. Well, that's good to know. And I would definitely say, though, and if they're in good shape, then, just my wife said there's actually lots of people that are out and around that are elderly. And actually, she's saying, I'll point this out, which is a little bit concerning, but disappointing for me. As my wife was saying, the young kids, but we expect this, like the young guys, like, and they're, let's say 25 and under. So let's just pick that. Could be 26. It's not a cutoff. At least not a fine. But the young people apparently, and that's just because when you're younger, you're not as risk adverse when you're younger, right? You're like, balls of the wall. Everything's like an adventure, right? So I understand why the young people are out and still acting like that's not a big deal, because that's what it is to be a young person, right? People don't like that, but when you want someone to climb up to the top of that fucking 1,000-foot pole to change a light bulb or something, or a satellite, one of those satellite antennas or something, chances are most of the time probably going to be one of them young, really brave and courageous people that just throw caution to the wind that's going to do it, right? Or a test pilot or something like. So yeah, but so yes, the younger people, I understand why they aren't nearly as risk adverse as some of the older people. But what my wife's saying is, what she's recognizing is it's the middle-age group. It's people like us, like in their late 30s or 40s or even early 50s, that seem to be the ones that are more in fucking panic mode. And apparently some of the older people, maybe it's like, I'm already halfway in the grave anyway, so fuck it, I don't care. Like kamikaze seniors out there. I don't know. But she's saying that the older folks, a portion of the older folks are like, they're just out, like seemingly like, not a big deal. And the younger folks, it seems to be the middle-age cohort, which is like, oh, don't tell me that. That's very disappointing. That's very disappointing. If it's Gen Xers, it's like, oh, come on. Please don't tell me that's the cohort that's the most fearful of things. Right? Maybe it's most of those ones that have put themselves so massively fucking in debt. It's like, oh, if I have to take even one day off, oh yeah, the whole house of cards comes crashing down. Well, then you fucked up bad, right? If you place yourself in that situation, well, but yeah, I found that a bit odd. But yeah, like I say, the old people are vulnerable. Well, even being old doesn't mean you're necessarily vulnerable, because there's some people in their 60s and 70s that are fucking better shape than a lot of people in their 30s. 40s, right? So even being old, that's why this collective group thing is like, you can't even just say all old people, right? Because no, not all old people are weak and vulnerable. Now, because of natural biology, there is a thing that, yes, as you get older, unfortunately, things do start to degrade over time. But we all are individuals. It's not going to be the same. It's not going to happen at the same rate or pace as everyone. But anyways, yeah. Anything which brings attention to the facts. Yep. Yeah. Facts are important. Facts matter. The Star Metro in Calgary went belly up a few months. Oh, there's lots of them. And a lot of them that are just looking for that government handout. It's like, well, if you couldn't make a go of it then, right? You're just prolonging the inevitable. If you didn't have a viable business model, even if you try it again, right? Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results, right? You might want to change something up. If it's not viable, you might want to change something up. Doubling down on the same old that hasn't been working is just throwing money away or pissing it away, right? Official labeling things essentials just so it can be governmentalized further. Yeah. Well, yeah. Although that's the thing. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that because there's a lot of these essential services. Like there's a lot of government workers sitting home today because they're not essential service, right? So I don't know. That could go one way or the other, official. Ever knows how the media never states how many deaths there are normally each day, week, month in each country or city, and a lot of cases of death. Well, yeah, especially if they're using the global numbers. Like, come on, you have to break it down because every country's handling things differently. Just using that one fucking overarching number is how many cases in total, how many. That's just a complete failure because, yeah, each jurisdiction is going to be handling things differently. So, yeah, deal with things like it's just so crazy. But that's, like I say, a lot of people are in that collective mindset or group think, and they just can't think critically about anything. Joe Goths, we are allowing the authoritarian regime to rule. Fear has everyone locked in. COVID is nothing. Oh, actually, I already read this. They hate God and country. Some do, for sure. You mean all y'all? Oh yeah, hi, Even Joe. Hey, what's going on, Even Joe? Nice to see you in the chat. Like I say, is there anybody out there? I'm going to scroll down these comments quick here because is there anyone out there that wants to have that disagrees, that would like to have a minor debate? Like I say, I mean, you see, I get a little excited at times. It's like no big deal. It's just words, right? Power taken is never returned. It sure as hell isn't. People that like power don't choose to give it up too often, right? Drip, drip, drip. Been waiting for a long time for Clinton to get taken to court. I stopped filing my income tax in 2016. I do not support a war tax. If income tax is a war tax, that means they're using it against us. Yeah. Well, like I say, what I would say, don't necessarily publicly say what you're doing, but yeah, there's a lot of people. Yeah, don't necessarily. Hey, Mr. G Rich, thank you very much for the $10. But yeah, there are a lot of people that aren't just going to do whatever government tells them, right? But you don't have to necessarily publicize or make that knowledge or that information public. Be careful, protect yourself. Mr. G Rich, $10. Thank you. Your thoughts on what things are going to look like when this dies down? What controls do you see Big Brother will want to keep in place, and how do we push back when they do? Well, we do know that the 5G, like I say, I don't ever try to make predictions, Mr. G Rich, because once again, credibility is more important to me than the crystal ball, right? But I mean, 5G, right? 5G is they want to bring it here, and 5G will be able to put surveillance, like I say, just like those countries. I mean, think about what they're saying. They're saying they're greatly admiring how those Asian countries that used the mass surveillance apparatus of the state, that is what helped them because they could watch everyone in real time, where they're going, where they're at, what they're doing, right? So 5G is the only way they're going to be able to do that because, as you know, now under a 4G system, you can get close proximity in terms of location data. But if you got a big urban center, you can't pick out who those persons, because you got too many people. But 5G will make that much more simpler. So 5G is definitely something that's going to be a great benefit to the authoritarians. But of course, it could also be used for some positive things. But do I think that 5G is going to be used by the central planners and those in government as a means to use even further controls and tighten their grip on power? Yeah, I sure do. Is that to suggest that I'm against 5G? No. Like I say, I'm all for adopting these beautiful technologies because, like I say, just like a gun, it can be used for good and it can be used for bad. The problem is it's like I say, it's up here. Don't give anyone the pretense of having the authority to use that, because not that people won't use it, but once we recognize a threat, then we can counter a threat. But if the threat has come from government and we're not allowed to defend ourselves against that threat because we have to comply or conform to it. That is our greatest threat. Like I say, it's all up here. Freedom, liberty, it's all right here. And you need people to start thinking critically about these issues because these things are going to happen. 5G is going to happen, right? A cryptocurrency that, if the central, that's the other thing, because the central bankers and big government has all but destroyed our current currencies, such as the Canadian dollar, the US dollar, the British pound. They're going to, and they're already kind of putting it out there now. They're already going to want to try to use some of these cryptocurrencies. But I'd say definitely don't just make sure. Well, fortunately, there are options like Ethereum and Bitcoin. Because if you have to go to a cryptocurrency, right? Just don't. I'm glad there's cryptocurrencies that exist. I just don't want one that's implemented and mandated by government that says I can't use anything. Because once it's mandated and placed in the hands of one individual or one entity, then they, as you can see now with central banks, they can completely manipulate what your worth is and manipulate your psychology. Because when interest rates are rock bottom, you might want to save money, but if there's no interest, like look at it in Europe, if you have, think about it, let's just use 1%. I don't know if it's gone that far. It might be 0.5% to 1%, but let's say banks go into this reverse territory, like what has happened in Japan and Europe, right? Where you have now like negative interest rates. Why would you save money when trying to do so just makes it constantly being eroded because they're chiseling away at that value every day? You wouldn't. So even though you're a saver, even if you're a conservative, like normally I like to save my money because like I could see it continually increase because I'm getting interest return, right? But if you're not, and it's being eroded every day, well, you're automatically, whether you think you're making that decision yourself or not, you're not, because you're automatically being incentivized. Well, I mean, ultimately, you're the one to make the decision, but you would be stupid to make the other decision and let it constantly be eroded. So you're automatically incentivized under these really low interest rate environments to just go out and spend, consume, because tomorrow's prices are going to go up. You want to get it cheaper today before it gets more expensive. Everyone, that's how they affect our psychology, our spending habits, our behaviors. And most people don't realize, oh, it's just money. Oh, it's just a central bank. Oh, and it's so much more than that. It's complete and utter control over your labor, your productivity, and the value of each. That's what a central bank and that's what governments are doing continue on a continual ongoing basis, folks. Like I say, there's so much more to it. Like I say, it's all at the end of the day, it's all up here. It's all up here. All up here. But thanks again there, G Rich, for the $10 donation. Really appreciate that. The propaganda is separating families. People, I know, right? Fuck, man. People are arguing and like people avoid seeing their own family. Just the fact that if they have a disagreements or a stance on the issue is probably no doubt causing people to fucking hate on each other. Yeah, this stuff, like I say, and it wouldn't have to be this way if you just had people, if you had people in the media that were leading by example. Like I say, if you had these hacks on the media and they actually had like a round table or those experts up there and they had someone like me up there and you could hear this kind of pushback and where you're saying, well, what was our intention here? We want to get to the truth. We want to be knowledgeable. We want to do things ethically, right? Then people would be like, oh, okay, I see how they're handling it, right? And that's a good way because look, they're de-escalating tensions. They're showing that they genuinely want to learn from each other. And then you could adopt that yourself. But because the leaders, their thought leaders, their opinion makers out there are playing this political divisive game, then they're repeating that exact same thing in their own personal lives because they're getting the wrong examples. Like I say, they're not being led or shown with leaders that are going to lead by example. It's the opinion makers, it's the thought leaders, it's these propagandists that are creating all this. Like the Canadian people just didn't decide out of the blue to start hating on each other even more, right? No, it's a direct result of how the media is stirring up that kind of division. That's what it is. If they are at fault, they are wholly at fault in making that because they're the ones, like I say, they want to be in the position, right? They're the ones that sought to be your authority. And if you place yourself in a position where you want to be their authority, well, you better goddamn well hold yourself to a standard, right? Where you're being objective enough that you are leading. Because that's the only way that you, to me, if you want to be an authority, you have to get that through the proper means, right? By leading by example. Authority by way of edict or mandate or control, that's not a proper authority at all. But yeah, it's sad, Gato, sad. Yeah, until they turn off the program, it's hopeless. Well, like I say, Well, maybe some of them definitely need to turn it off for a while, but I would never even tell people to get different information or perspectives than me. But at the very least, yeah, I kind of agree with you there. But they're going to get their programming. But I'm just saying, at least offer them another line of code, for crying out loud, something they've never seen before. If they're going to get their programming, well, at least offer a different line of code, right? Disrupt the current trajectory they're on, because it's not working. It's only leading to more authoritarianism, more dumbing down of the populace, more hatred, more resentment, more pitting people against each other, more division, right? Ian, the problem is that government's quick to, never give them, they never give them back. Never. Did you look into event? Gotta go late here. Catch you next time. No problem, Eva. Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, sorry, I know. How long ago did Eva say that? 5:35. It's 5:44. Okay, that wasn't too bad. It's an hour and 25 minutes. Like I say, I probably won't go over, depending on how it goes, at hour and a half to 2 hours is probably plenty enough. You know me, I could ramble on forever, but because I might end up having to do, a fair amount more streams. Actually, you know what? Now that I've been getting these donations, crap, that's the only unfortunate thing though. When a donation is done this way, I have to wait. And because YouTube only, the payout was supposed to be, I think it was the 23rd of March. I didn't get it because I didn't have enough money. You have to have over at least $100 to get a payout on YouTube. So that'll come this month, right? Because all these super chats will go in, and sticker stuff will go on that. But as is right now, I'd like to actually, because you can pay for, if I had the money to pay for StreamYards, I don't have to just worry about only having 20 hours. If I had unlimited hours on StreamYards, I'd even be doing a lot more streaming than I am right now. But I'm going to have to, under the 20-hour restriction, I'm going to have to kind of limit it. But like I say, if anyone else there wants to do a donation, PayPal, I can get that instantly. PayPal. And it's always on all of my regular videos. And what I've been doing now is, even for my streams, I go in after the stream and add all those links to the stream. So if you could do it, if, like I say, rather than donate in a super chat here, which I'm really appreciative, like I say, especially if you want to donate like any kind of higher amounts, like, anything over like say $10, $20 or anything, and PayPal, because like I say, then I could get access to it instantly, and I could use that and make sure that I can maybe throw some coin in and have StreamYards wide open, so I can have it like more than the 20 hours that I'm allowed. That's the other thing. Even though our internet's crap, it's quite expensive internet here in the sticks too, unfortunately, because we have to use a satellite thing, Good times, Mr. G Rich. Yeah, thanks, Mr. G Rich. I am done with, I am. I don't know what that is. Okay. You guys are talking amongst each other. Joe Goss, 5G, forest vaccine, one world government, cashless society. That's where it's heading. All those things could very well prove to be true, Joe. Could very well. Bennett might be on to something. What's this? It might be a good idea to downgrade our phones. Did I say that? Downgrade our phone. Oh, you mean so that they're not tracking? Yeah, the Nokia 3310 or whatever. Go back to the old Nokia, right? Well, I mean, it makes you wonder, like, because the Roman Empire is a lot of growth, but then, like, after the Roman Empire collapsed, and they went through what was considered the Dark Age before the Industrial Revolution, all that stuff. It's like, geez, is that why, like, they kind of had to put the genie back in the bottle for a while there, because things were getting too out of hand? Like I say, who would know? It's just me thinking out loud. But well, I mean, just be wise enough. Oh, someone else did a donation. Let me scroll down here. But yeah, just be wise enough to, think about these things. Just know that, yeah. I mean, like I say, after the Snowden revelations, just know that the governments are spying on you. They're collect it all. Collect it all. That was the overarching thing from the Five Eyes, NSA, CSIS, GCHQ in the UK or whatever it is. But yeah, it was collect it all, baby. Collect it all. So they're collecting it all. They're collecting everything. It's a lot of information that they'd have to sort through. But like I say, these algos and stuff are getting better all the time, right? And no doubt they're using that information and the history to psychologically profile each and every one of us and find ways to fuck with your mentality and fuck with your psychology. And not what, yeah, that's very real shit, folks. I mean, come on. So, like I say, we just all got to be proactive and just like I say, it's a sad thing to say because we shouldn't have to, but just know that in your life, just basically, it's almost like we almost got to live knowing that Big Brother is watching almost everything you do for the most part. Well, unless you're out in the middle of the woods somewhere, like where there's no electronics around. There are some places for sure that you can go and still have some solace and without having Big Brother, especially if you live in rural areas. But yeah, you just always keep in mind that they've already got a lot of tools that they're using to invade on massive amounts of our privacy and scooping up huge swaths of our data. So there's that. But thanks, Sunwares, for the $5 donation. I really appreciate that. Okay, back up here. I know I won't be taking it. Oh, what's going on here? We don't have to go back to the Stone Age. We need control, though. Yeah, I don't want to go back to the Stone Age. No, too many people work too hard for too many, not just decades, but centuries to get us to the point where we don't have to live in the fucking doldrums, right? No. I refuse to have to give up, right? All the beauties that some great minds and some great human beings brought that took us out of the pure state of nature. And that's the thing. The people that think that nature's so great, yeah, go fucking sleep out in the woods right now tonight and tell me how great that nature is, right? Maybe under ideal conditions where it's like, what, 20 degrees out, there's no flies, right? Sometimes nature can be great. And I mean, I love nature too, obviously. Frig, I'm a big time fan of outdoor activities. Most of my life, like I say, ATVing and riding dirt bikes in the trails. Love that stuff. Or out on the street bike and stuff. Or ripping through the back 40 and on the I love being it, but nature is not all like, oh yeah. It's just all like rainbows and unicorns. Like that's not what nature is, you know. Really appreciate the fact that I got indoor plumbing, heat to keep me warm in the winter, a roof over the head, keep that rain and snow off me, right? It's much easier to stay dry that way. So yeah. And all these beautiful modern amenities, like in cooking food doesn't have to all be done. I mean, I like roasting a marshmallow just like the next guy or a weenie over the fire, but don't want to have to use a fire all the time. Nice to have a stove or a convection or a microwave oven every once in a while, right? Jeez. Okay. Yeah, I agree. So let's scroll down here more. Yeah, negative interest rates punish the fiscally responsible, reward those who aren't. Yep, upside down, completely upside down. Check stops up on the provincial borders are there, probably there forever. Well, let's hope not. See them doing a lot with this scare as the reason. Digital currency way up the track and trace data collection, force vaccine, possible travelers. Yeah, like I say, there's lots of stuff. There's lots of potential and like I say, when it all comes to fruition, like, yeah, people might want to call you a nut bar, conspiracy theories now, but when it all proves to be true, then you can say, oh, yeah? What do you think of me now? Right? Who's still making money today and will benefit plus interest? Well, that's the other thing. Yeah, Kay Bono, right? Kay Bono. Who is benefiting from all this? That, right? Because that's another thing, way to kind of measure and gauge things. Yeah, mandatory vaccines are scary. Exactly. Well, mandatory, like I say, and I'm not against vaccines. I'm not an anti-vaxxer or any of that foolishness. But yeah, mandated? No. Don't believe in that. Like I say, I believe in individual freedom and respecting people's sovereignty. And not saying that people won't make wrong decisions. Of course they will. But as long as they're willing to be personally responsible and they don't have the ability to use government to force me to assume the task or responsibility for their failures. Well, hey, if you fuck up, just like if you want to walk off a 10-story building and test the hypothesis that gravity doesn't exist, well, I'll gladly tell you, well, actually it does. And if you do that, you're going to fucking fall those 10 floors and you're probably going to die. But if that person wants to test that hypothesis out for themselves, I'd love to be able to tell them that. But if they do, hey, you're an adult. You make your decisions, but you're the one that's going to live or die as a consequence of them, right? So once again, personal responsibility. Yeah, private ownership. That's the worrisome. That's the worrisome part, right? I mean, already BC taking over the means of production. Well, not just like the US and this whole bickering between Trump and GM and all like, oh, man, yeah. Oh, can you ask a question here in the chat? Of course you can, for sure. Is my screen name hard for people to get? Well, G Rich or Get Rich or something like that. Mr. G Rich. It's not G Rich, but Grinch. Oh, sorry. Grinch. Well, I know it's the Grinch in the picture, but yeah, it is a little hard to get for me. But it might be just me, right? I get the avatar because I even pointed that out the other day, right? But yeah, if the N was in there, but that could be my own. Like I say, my mind is in a totally different place a lot of the times, though. So that could be my own failure, right? I could have just overlooked that because I did even point out, was it yesterday, that I noticed that there's the Grinch in your picture, but yeah, it might be just me. But yeah, maybe ask everyone else. Because and now that you pointed out, it seems kind of weird that I did. For people like us, will it be, well, China pulled an economic fast one. Vaccines are a new thing. If some people are good with tech, they could show. Some people are good with tech. They could show people how to disable the GPS in their phone. That would help people be free. Yeah, for sure. If you know how to disable the GPS, I know there was one thing like if you take apart the phone, but yeah, you wouldn't want to have to take the freaking phone apart, right, to remove the little GPS thing in there. But yeah, great idea, Gato. And like I say, when it comes to stuff like that, there's a lot of resource at your disposal on the internet. Even like for me, I should point this out too. My browsers, like I have additional things. I will say another thing that's really wise, and I'm not sure how well they all work, but key logging is another thing, right? For passwords, it's quite easy. Well, I don't know how easy, but it can be done that people can just, even if they can't see anything, just by a keylogger, it records your key logs. So if you're typing in your password, even if they can't see it, if the keylogger is recording what keys are being pushed, well, that's a way to find that out. But there are software out there, but you got to be careful what kind of permission some of those software or those applications ask for too, because some of them pretend that they're trying to protect your privacy, but they're asking for more permissions. They're taking more privacy than they're even pretending to protect. So pay attention to the permissions you have to give to these applications. But have something that's like a key scrambler, right? So that they can't keep track of your key. And like for tracking cookies, get something that prevents tracking cookies from tracking. There's, like I say, you can go to the multitude. There's a multitude of applications that can help you protect your privacy. And when it comes to cameras, in particular, the cameras, the best thing for me, and I've been doing it forever, is when I don't have my camera on, I make sure that I have something over my camera. And even on my laptop, a little piece of electrical tape, right? Pretty low tech, right? That alone is much better. You could come up with as many different codes, right? Oh, I can break into the person's camera, and it would take quite a bit for a hacker to break into even a fairly secure camera application. And it'd be really hard for you to protect yourself from that hacker, but not if you just put a piece of tape, right? It's like, ooh, foiled by a piece of electrical tape. So even some really low tech options are out there to help protect yourself. And if you're anywhere near something that has a microphone, right, and you don't want anyone to be able to hear you, make sure it's unplugged from a power source where it has no way of getting power, because everything still has to function off electricity too, right? So yeah, do all those little things. And I do those things, right? And I've got, like I say, multiple applications. And I use even Firefox Chrome as my typical browser for most of the things I do. But I also have Firefox as an alternative backup. And there's Brave. There's alternatives out there. Now, Firefox, and I'm not 100% sure on the Brave one, is open source, so anyone can see if there's any code, right? Because that's the thing with proprietary software. It's more secure, but you also you can't look and see what's going on there. The good thing about open source is, it's more vulnerable because it's open source, but it's also transparent. And the people that can see what's going on in there can see, oh, there's a fucking tracking cookie, or there's some written code in there that's a virus or something. So have a little redundancy, and yeah, be proactive. Good thinking there, Gato, for bringing this stuff up, because yeah, I don't even really talk about that much. And in this crazy age we're living in, yeah, be proactive and protect yourself in those vulnerable situations, and especially if you're talking about things that might be considered controversial, or that you want for your eyes or ears only. Is, yeah, be proactive and protect yourself in that way. Thanks for bringing that up, Gato. Good guy. Gato's a good guy. Okay, and some people are good. Okay. Good to go, everyone. Good stream. See y'all. Take care. Yeah, have a good one, Mike at W. And you have yourself a great day as well. And like I say, if you can, help offer some perspectives to people out there, right? You don't have to say you got it from me. I don't give a crap. Don't need the credit at all. Just use your own noggin, do it your own way. Like I say, but yeah, help these people out that are just getting inundated daily with this propaganda from the news networks. Help them start to think about these issues critically. Because even when you're standing in front of you, even if they don't want to accept what you're saying right then there, they might think about it when you're not there. They might take time to think, oh shit, you know what? She was right. Damn it. She was right. They might correct their thinking after the fact, right? When they're more comfortable in doing so, because they're not, feeling that immediate, like, oh, I don't want to admit that I was wrong right to you, right? But either way, whatever you can do to help offer people different perspectives so they're thinking a little more critically about these issues, like, yeah, do your thing. Do your thing. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Mr. Grinch. Sorry, I'll try to keep that in mind too these days. That's for sure. Is it because somebody already took? Yeah, someone probably already took. Obviously, the Grinch, right? That's probably There's probably a mirror to them. But there's also lots of ways where you might be able to do Grinch and then maybe just something underneath, like Mister instead of the dot, maybe the underscore, or Mr. Grinch 01. I don't know, but I think what it is just the lowercase g. That's kind of what threw me off, is the lowercase g with the uppercase r. That's what threw me off, and that's probably because I'm not a grammar Nazi per se, but I'm big into the grammar thing. So I guess that might have been what threw me off, is with the capitalized r and the lowercase g. So like I said, it could be my own way of seeing things, right? That's the thing. Once again, perfect example. Sunwares people used to die from stupid shit. Look at the longevity we have now. Viruses and antibiotics have a lot to do with it. Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I would never reject any of that stuff. Like, no, there's some great things about modern medicine that, yeah. I don't have paper. Oh, that's okay. GoFundMe. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I already have I have Patreon. I have PayPal. I have a Bitcoin address. And once again, I always share all of them to my videos. It's on my About section in my Canadian Libertarian page. But so you can do like I say, I already have the Super Chat, PayPal, Patreon. Actually, there's another way you can do it too, is just to wireless, or the transfers through email. Because my email's there. Because you can even just do e-transfers nowadays, which is really, really super simple too. That's the thing. So there's, like I say, there's already so many options for people. Like, the more I have to add in, and I get it. Thanks for the suggestion. But the more things I have to add, like I already have, I don't know how much. I was like, I can only handle so many things. Like I say, if I had someone, like, that's one thing about some of the YouTubers that make a decent amount of money, and good for them. I'm happy for them. But some of them have an extra dude or an assistant, right? That does all the extra stuff. The red, or the I don't even know what the word I would use right now, but just stuff like that, setting up Patreon pages or GoFundMe that does that while the main person on the channel kind of does their thing. But I'm a one-man band. I'm a one-man show here. Like I say, and I definitely don't have any money to hire someone. I would love to, that's the thing. I would love to be able to make enough money doing what I'm doing that I could actually, make this into a business and help spread some wealth around. Right. I would love to, but I don't even have enough for myself. So I'm not in a position to do it currently. But yeah, thanks for the suggestion, Mr. Grinch. You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. That was a great movie, right? Not just the old one, but I love the Jim Carrey one. That was just so awesome. Like I say, I love Jim Carrey's acting. Some of the stuff he goes on with now, not necessarily some of the stuff he says, like, but I love his acting. I love his comedy. Herd health, yeah, herd health is raised. That's what they're saying. But like I say, prior to this outbreak, they were all talking about the herd mentality. You better go out and get vaccine. Well, that's why you need that herd immunity. That's why you have to get vaccine, even if you're not worried for yourself. That's what the excuse they would always use, right? Well, yeah, but you don't have to just do it for yourself. We need that herd immunity for the vulnerable. So you got to do it. But now they're rejecting herd immunity. It's like, holy fuck, can you at least be consistent, people? That's how you know they're full of shit, is when they'll completely, reverse course on their own stance when it's deemed politically expedient, right? What the hell, man? What the deuce? Oh, does PayPal collect too much info? Oh, yeah, well, they definitely, yeah, I think I know what you're saying. Like because they need to know like your banking information. Yeah, I kind of get that. And Patreon might not be, and Patreon's way, they take a much smaller amount than these super chats. These super chats, actually, you know what? I'm going to add one more thing. I'll get my son to help me out on it, because actually, you know what? I will add one more thing, and that'll help all you folks out, and it'll help me out as well. So win-win for everybody. Is my son was saying, and I've seen actually even when Sargon and Stefan were doing their streams, I noticed it was down on Sargon's stream, is Stream Labs, right? That's the thing, though. I use StreamYards but I'll have to check in that Stream Labs, because apparently with Stream Labs, or maybe StreamYards will find some way to make that possible here. I'll have to check into it, because StreamYards, you can set up your own where people donate, and you kind of do it through StreamYards, and then you can circumvent having to go through YouTube, because the problem with YouTube, and like I say, nothing to get, like, I know YouTube's trying to make their money, right? That's their thing, right? But yeah, they take 30%. Like, I don't mind taking a few percent because you're the intermediary and has to do the processing, but fucking 30%? Holy Christ, YouTube. What are you trying to be, the government? It's like, what the hell? 30%. Especially if you're only getting like $10. Like, taking 30%, taking $3 out of 10, like that's quite a bit, right? But yeah, I hear what you're saying. Mr. Grinch. But anyways, I appreciate even with them taking the 30%, I still appreciate you doing that. But like I say, the other option that I have currently right now, if you want to check it, I don't know what Patreon, how much information they ask for you, because I do have a couple patrons. What am I at? 14? No, not even 14. I'm at $10. $10. I still, though, I appreciate the two patrons that do. It's like $5 a piece, but they've been doing it for probably about 5 or 6 months now. So like, it's better than nothing, better than a kick in the butt. And that's what I've said before. Even when I used to have like thousands of people watch my videos, even if like a 1,000 people, even if they just donated $1, although I know $1 would be kind of minor, right? Like, but even just one like $2, like the cost of one coffee per month, right? $2 per month. So in the course of a year, $24, right? Less than like a case of beer for the year, or one coffee. Like for a whole month, it's just like if you just spilt that one coffee, it's like, yeah, you're out your $2, but hey, it's only $2 at the end of the day. But now if you're poor, I get that you can't afford that, but $2. And if there was 1,000 people, that's $2,000. That's $500 a week right there, right? That I could do just fine off of that, and would cost people very much individually, each person $2. As it is now, like, not getting near those thousands of views as I used to, so I get it. But anyways, forget about that stuff. Forget about that stuff for now. Okay. Okay, you guys are just talking back to forth. Like I say, I'll probably lose the Wi-Fi. Well, definitely plug in directly if you can. If you can. Like if you have a desktop or even a laptop, although most laptops don't even have where you can plug straight into the Ethernet. But yeah, at least if it's not Wi-Fi, because that's the other thing too. You got these Stingray devices and stuff too. TFM demonstrated that being racist in the current year only means that you are white. Yeah, I know, right? If you're white, you're just automatically racist now. Like, what a fucking that is racist, right? Like to go back to old phones and old phones, calculators, and keyboards, right? actual like clank, 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 clank. No, thanks. Okay, I already seen that one, right? Sunwares. Yeah, I already seen that one. Thanks again, Sunwares. Appreciate it. I'm getting homing pigeons. Yeah, right on. Right on. Good one. That's okay. Okay. So I see everyone's it's kind of winding down there a little bit there now. So I probably will Darwin Awards. I agree, man. Thanks, Big Cat. Okay, yeah. Like I say, I'm just going to scroll right down, everyone, because I see everyone's kind of slowing down and hour and 49. Yeah, we're good. We're good. Like I say, just in case I don't have enough and I do get close to that 20-minute mark. Like I say, we're only in the first day and oh no. Oh yeah, because with these guys though, the month started as the 27th. So I've already got 27th. I've probably already done about 6-7 hours of streaming already out of my 20. Whew. All right, yeah, I better cut this off. Anyways, like I say, any big breaking stuff that's coming out or something that I feel is really important, I'll be streaming and plenty. Maybe, what do you folks think? Maybe leave in a comment actually on the video, because I don't necessarily go in and read the chat after I'm done, like especially after I'm done. But if you do it as a comment, maybe what do you think about it, you folks? What do you think? Maybe get more people paying attention. Maybe if I did it in the evening. The reason why I usually don't like doing it in the evening, because that's actually where even more and more people are using up the broadband and busy, and might make it even worse where it's going down all the time. So that's the reason why I usually prefer to do it during the day if I can. But anyways, yeah, you guys all have a great one. Take care. Like I say, take care of each other, like your loved ones. Make sure the ones that are vulnerable are protected. Talk about this stuff. Try to be patient. I know people are all excited and up in the air. Even myself, I'm telling myself this every day. Like, don't get too, overzealous and with people, because if you just turn them against you, and I've done that. I've turned people against me by being a little bit too overzealous at times. Thanks, Rika. But like I say, I'm always trying to correct my own habits and behaviors and try to do things better. And hopefully we'll all do that. And it's not just us, like there's other people out there too. And maybe we can be that voice of reason. And maybe there will come a day where we'll say that we did step up and help push back. And we prevented a much further catastrophe by giving people this very vital information. Who knows? Like I say, it's all unfolding in real time. So nobody knows how it's all going to play out currently. Nobody does, because nobody's got that magic crystal ball, as far as I know. Anyways, everyone have a great day. We'll see you in the next stream. And like I say, take care of each other, and skinny libertarian, and I love liberty.